Hello all Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Welcome back to Radiant Moon Tarot. My name is Victoria. We are looking at July of 2025, specifically for your money and your career. So we've got a few things to note in the month of July. Number one, we are starting a few retrogrades. Okay, so this is going to be important. Retrogrades can sometimes bring things back up from the past. They can bring you second chances. They can also have you being a little bit more reflective and revisiting things. Retrogrades can sometimes, of course, make you feel as though you're going a little bit backwards or that things are a little bit slow, but it's in that reflective energy, it's in that slower energy that we can make really good decisions, and we can also evaluate things a little bit better. So we've got Mercury, our favorite retrograde planet. Mercury is going to be going into shadow early July, and Mercury will be going retrograde in Leo on the 17th. Okay, so this can be where you're really thinking about yourself, the things you want to create. Leo is very much about me, myself, and I, right? This is my goals, my dreams, my wants, my needs. So you could certainly be reconsidering something. You could be reactivating something that you have previously maybe put aside, or maybe haven't had time to do. And you could get a second chance at maybe that thing that you want, maybe something you want to buy, something that you want to invest in, right? So but just be very aware with Mercury retrogrades, though, that we do need to double and triple check everything. Okay, so if you are doing anything like booking travel or anything like that, or signing contracts and things, we do want to make sure that we are double checking things. And if you can hold off, it's often recommended that you do hold off, okay, or get some legal advice or another person's opinion, or again, just really pay attention to the details there. Previously to that, on July 4th, Neptune is going retrograde in the sign of Aries. This can bring you back to reality for something. This can be certainly a reminder to look before you leap and to think before you act, right? So there's that retrograde energy kind of just doing you a favor in some cases and just kind of drawing you backwards just a little bit. Okay. Maybe there's some information that you may have missed, because sometimes, especially if we are looking for a new job, or if we've got this investment opportunity that's the deal of a lifetime, sometimes, we're so excited about the prospect of making money or being financially independent or buying the bright, shiny thing that we always wanted, that sometimes we overlook some things. Okay, and Neptune can bring a little bit of a brain fog. It can bring some confusion, some doubt, and sometimes those illusionary things, sometimes things that you can't quite trust. So just make sure that you are double and triple checking everything. Where else do we have retrograde? Saturn retrograde on the 12th. All right. So this can be a little bit of rebellious energy. We can be breaking some rules with this one. Okay. And shaking things up a little bit. So this can represent that there's some shakeups and breakups and things like that going on around your workplace. Maybe you've been, Saturn is a heavy planet. Saturn is, the planet of responsibilities and goals, right? And life lessons and all these things. And, it can be that energy where, I'm tired of following the rules. I'm tired of doing, what's expected of me. And of course, with this being retrograde in your sign, again, you're breaking out of the norm, right? So this can help you out a little bit, okay? But just be aware of potential reckless energy. Also on the 4th of July, we've got Venus in Taurus, Venus, the planet of love and money, conjuncting Uranus in Taurus, okay? Taurus rules the second house of your income, how you make your money, how you spend your money, how you invest your money, your beliefs around your money, your values, and your possessions. So this can be where something very unexpected may happen. Okay, Venus is direct, Uranus is direct, so expect the unexpected. Now keep an eye on your money though, because this can, even though there is the potential here for some growth or for new beginnings, it is in Uranus, so Uranus can bring about shakeups. Okay, and if you're on the right side of a shakeup, this can be really good for you, but if you're on the wrong side, you can lose your shirt, right? So just be aware of what is going on. But typically Venus is a very beneficial planet, right? Venus and Jupiter are two most beneficial planets. And so this can actually open some doors for you, bring something to you. You can get a gift, you can get a surprise. Maybe that thing that you want to buy all of a sudden shows up on sale. And that could be something expensive. It's like, oh my goodness, these things never go on sale. And so you might want to take advantage of something. The same day on July 4th, right? July 4th, if you're in the US, right? Big day for you anyway. Independence Day. So there could be something interesting going on there. But we do have Venus entering Gemini in the same day. So this does open the doors for conversation, for, for friends, for romance, for business and money. So this can be really good energy over the next few weeks for that, right? Just again, keep in mind that we do have retrogrades ongoing for you. But your first card out, we do have Thinker, card number 44. Fours are about stability and security, building a good, strong, solid foundation. And the Thinker energy has you reflecting, has you thinking, am I in the right place? Am I where I want to be? Is this the right decision for me? Do I put some money aside or can I spend some right now? So remember with retrogrades activating here, right? We want to think before we leap. Okay, it doesn't mean don't do something, all right? It's just making sure that you are thinking about things logically and clearly, okay? Or that you are recognizing what is your intuition and what might be something else. We also have here for you, go the distance. All right, so go the distance here can certainly show that some of you are reaching the finish line, right? We've got this beautiful cheetah here, and he's just about reached that checkered flag, right? So it's that last burst of energy that you may need to tap into there to get something wrapped up, to get something done, and to see something through to the end. Aries, you are wonderful at initiating things, at taking an idea and running with it, right? But do you sometimes find like it's a little bit hard to really kind of finish things off? How many unfinished projects do you have? Unfinished thoughts, unfinished ideas, right? We want to make sure that you do finish what you start here with this energy so that you can reap the rewards or find some freedom. All right. The go the distance energy also does remind you that life is a marathon, right? Not necessarily a sprint. And so we do need to conserve some energy, or we do need to put long-term plans in place or set ourselves up for a really long-term and prosperous future. Okay. So some of you might be really thinking, right? Thinker energy. You might be really thinking about putting things away for retirement, making those investments that aren't necessarily get rich quick schemes, right? Because if you can make it really quick, sometimes you can lose it really quick as well, right? So maybe you are thinking of your investments, where you park your money, and is this safe for the long term? How much of a risk, how much of a gamble do I want to take? Let's see what else we've got here for you. We've got the Page of Wands, very exciting energy. Love the Page of Wands. Some of you could be going on an adventure, on a vacation. We've got the Strength card here. There's that Leo energy that also does speak to your strength. And we've got the Hierophant here as well. And that is that Taurus energy. So the Hierophant can certainly speak to that wonderful Venus in Taurus energy. Okay, so we can be learning something. We can be taking something up to the next level. We can be entering a higher level of commitment. You might have something going on in your personal life that can affect your finances, right? Elevate them to the next level. And, let's say you're dating somebody and, all of a sudden you, like I said, a little bit of love and romance can be in the air in July, right? So it's really good for some romantic partnerships, depending on your sign. And it can be really good for, having those higher levels of commitment come in, right? So some shifting dynamic in some partnerships there, right? But with the Hierophant, we're learning something, we're elevating something, we are committing to something. It is the marriage card, okay? And so you could potentially have a new job coming in here, right? Page of Wands can be a new exciting opportunity here opening up for you. It's that go-getter energy. It's like, oh my goodness, I want this thing. Strength, it plays to your strengths, right? This opportunity may play to your strengths, to your experience, and you are a strong candidate for this, for what? To commit to something, hopefully for the long term with the Hierophant, or at least, get a higher paycheck, get a higher paying position, right? A higher level of responsibility, right? So this can be really wonderful energy here for opening doors. The Page of Wands can also be about you really wanting to have a little bit of fun. All right. The Hierophant can be, that energy of, we're looking at our beliefs and our values and things, right? And, but it is a card of having faith and believing in ourselves, right? Believing in, maybe the kindness of the universe, right? Believing that you can manifest your goals and dreams, believing that you can have your cake and eat it too, right? Whatever it happens to be, you got to believe in yourself, right? And the Strength card here is yourself. Okay, but the Strength card does speak to your strengths, to your ability to power through and make bold moves and bold changes, and to maybe even step out of your comfort zone here a little bit. So there could be really some good opportunities there, and you just need to decide how comfortable or uncomfortable am I willing to be. But like I said, some of you here could be going on some sort of vacation, some sort of adventure. The Page of Wands, very adventurous, right? You could have some good news. You could get an invitation. And even if it's not fun and adventure, right, you could be getting an invitation or an opportunity to do something exciting. So we want to tap into that. And if you do happen to find a job, by the way, that, you're like, I think I'll be really good at that, go for it. Right? And believe in yourself, Hierophant energy, right? Because you just never know. And sometimes, let me tell you, it's, I unfortunately, have to hire a lot of people sometimes in my muggle job, in my day job. And, the thing is that, when I'm putting like a job description together, yes, there are some core attributes, core qualities and experience that I have to have. Right? I can't just hire someone fresh out of high school for the kind of positions that I hire for. However, I also have some nice to haves. I like to do people a favor and I list them that way, right? When I put my job descriptions out there when I'm hiring, but not everybody does. And sometimes, these job descriptions that do get put out there, they, it's a laundry list of things, right? Oh, this job is going to pay you minimum wage, but I want a master's degree. Yeah, I don't think so. If that job floats your boat, go for it anyway, right? Because, honestly, but I have seen some that are just that ridiculous. Okay. So if you see a job and you're like, I can do this thing. Okay. And, even though maybe there's a couple of the qualifications or experience levels that maybe you don't quite have, but you just know that it's right up your alley, just go for it. The worst thing that someone can say is no. And remember, a closed door leads to another open one. Okay. And a closed door, the universe's rejection, is its protection. Okay. So protecting you for something that wasn't meant for you, but because you're making some effort and putting yourself out there, this is quite often where you get the ball rolling and you do find some more things, right? So it's like a little bit of a snowball effect. So let's see what else we've got. The High Priestess, trusting your intuition. Ten of Pentacles, right? We've got some big money with the Ten of Pentacles potentially, and the Two of Swords. So if you're indecisive, okay, about money and things like that, perhaps there is somebody, Ten of Pentacles, in your family that may be able to help you in some way. Your intuition, High Priestess, is probably going to say, you know what? You might want to seek out some advice. But sometimes, Ten of Pentacles, even though Ten of Pentacles here are home, our family, our stability, our security, sometimes we get an inheritance with the Ten of Pentacles, abundance and prosperity in all forms here, right? Sometimes if this is our goal, right, the core of our reading here with the Ten of Pentacles, if this is our goal and we're not sure how to get there, or we're not sure what steps to take, or we're not sure, we're sometimes uncertain, Two of Swords, we're back and forth. We've got one foot in, one foot out, right? And sometimes the best thing we can do is go inward. Because the High Priestess is encouraging you that no matter what your situation is with your career path, with your money, okay, trust your intuition. When we turn inward, when we shut out the world, Two of Swords, right? Got a blindfold on, got our arms crossed over, okay? It's like, get out. I don't need to hear anyone else's opinion. Your family might mean well, okay? But, sometimes, but they're not living in your shoes, right? So trust your intuition, go within and trust your inner wisdom. Ultimately, we don't need other people to tell us what to do. Because often what people will do is they will, they often come from a good place, right? Maybe sometimes not, but, more often than not, they come from a good place. But what they're doing is actually telling you what they would do, but they're not you, right? And so if someone says don't do that, right, they're just showing you what their limitations are, but that's no reflection on what yours may be. So believe in your unlimited potential, all right, because you just never know what may transpire. Your cards so far are actually pretty good. The only one casting any kind of shadow of doubt or confusion would be the Two of Swords. All right. And so this might be where you got the blinders on, you don't see something coming. Okay, that can certainly be it. But ultimately, the High Priestess says your inner wisdom is what's going to guide you in the right direction, to make the right moves, to spend the money if you want to spend the money and you feel it's right, to put the money away if you feel that that's the right way to go, or to go for that job or go for that promotion that maybe you didn't even think you were looking for and you didn't know existed, right? Because something can come up as a little bit of a surprise. We've got the Knight of Wands here, so talk about leveling up just a little bit. Got the Page of Swords, still some new energy, new conversation, new communication. And we've got the Knight of Cups, so we can certainly have a couple potential offers or opportunities on the table for you. At the back of the deck, we've got a wonderful Six of Wands. So you're driven by the need to succeed. The Six of Wands can certainly be some sort of surprise victory, some success. You're being in the spotlight. In this particular deck, the Six of Wands is a badass success. It's like, I did it. I overcame it. I made the change. I got things done. I got things back on track. Whatever it happens to be, the Six of Wands is a victory march, okay? It can also be about being in the spotlight. Got those spotlights on her, right? And it can be about being in the spotlight. So something really positive is shining on you. But do you believe in yourself? Can you trust yourself to make a decision? Because ultimately, the Two of Swords, right, you may have multiple opportunities or multiple decisions to make in regards to your money. And we've got two knights showing up here. Now, the knights, of course, can be you, right, trying to make a decision with different directions, different avenues that you can go in. The knights are always on a quest. So you could be on a quest for something, right? And this certainly does give you that go-getter kind of energy. You might need to put a little creative flair on something, but it's kind of fun-loving energy. Like when we get the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands is very fun-loving, very adventurous. It's the more mature version or the older version of the Page of Wands, right? So, something new can show some growth, show some potential. This can be a leveling up energy here for you, right? This can be about an exciting opportunity, a door opening for you. And because you've made the decision to go for it, believe in yourself and trust your journey, the Knight of Wands is like, I'm taking action, and you know what? Whatever sticks. And if I succeed, awesome, I'm going to celebrate. If I don't, I know there's another opportunity out there, right? Knight of Cups. So this is certainly a very vibrant and very positive energy that's all coming in here for you. So take advantage of it, right? The energy that's activating in your reading this month can take a while to play out. Okay, it doesn't necessarily happen the same day that your reading pops up on your screen. It doesn't necessarily happen the same day that a planet changes signs or activates in some way. It can take a few weeks. It can take a couple of months to play out, right? So it's really about, what am I activating here right now? What opportunities may lie in front of me, right? And so, it's really great energy to make some more money, to make some good money moves. Really good energy to find those opportunities, or even to have those really great sparky conversations, right? Because we do have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is a curious energy. I'm going to poke around on the internet and see what's out there. I'm going to poke around on the internet and see if there's any job openings in this particular company that my friend works at, and it looks like it's a really good deal, right? And so because the Page of Swords is very intellectually curious, right? Likes to poke around on the internet. And sometimes when you do that, that's when you find the deal that maybe you didn't even know you were looking for, or the opportunity that maybe you weren't even expecting. So the Page of Swords can be some awesome conversations, new conversations coming in. And again, you've got potentially more than one opportunity, more than one door opening up for you here. The Knight of Cups can be that romantic situation that we talked about a little bit earlier. And so this can be a proposal. Someone proposing to you, your life can change in an instant. And when we have a personal relationship that changes, sometimes our financial outlook and situation can change as well. All right. And so that can be really awesome. But the Knight of Cups can also be, maybe following your heart and doing something that you love. And with the 10 of Pentacles in the middle, it can be a home-based business. It can be a family business, that kind of thing. It can be something that uses your inherited talents as well. Like I said a little bit earlier, the 10 of Pentacles can certainly represent an inheritance that might come in for you. And remember, with that Venus and Uranus conjuncting both in the sign of Taurus, this can bring some magical things your way. All right. And again, it may not necessarily come in that particular day. All right. Uranus is very unpredictable energy and it can happen in an instant, right? But sometimes, we don't quite see something right away. We can be a little bit blindsided, okay? Or again, we might need to take some action. But you could have some helpful people along your journey as well. The 2 knights here can be helpful people. You might have some, again, help from family. If you've got children, we've got 2 pages coming out here. If you've got children, maybe a family member, you might be invited to a family reunion. You might be talking to, one of your parents or grandparents, and they're like, maybe you're talking about wills and things like that. And you're like, well, maybe I have some financial freedom because they may have put some money aside to send one or all of your children to college or university or something, right? But they could certainly be giving you a gift of some kind, or at least a little bit of help of some kind. So all in all, really positive energy that's coming out here for you there. I'm excited for you guys. All right. And, with these planets in your sign, even though these planets are turning retrograde, you can really use these to your advantage. But remember, we've got the thinking energy here. And so your thoughts can certainly become things, and your power to manifest something into reality is certainly very much on point for you. All right. So take that, run with it. 6 of Wands. What does victory and success mean to you, right? Are you ready to go in the spotlight? Are you ready to celebrate your success, right? Remember that 6 of Wands, you overcome something in order to feel like you have been victorious. The 6 of Wands also, by the way, can represent like a public gathering of some kind. And we do have the Page of Swords, communication, right? We've got multiple people showing up here for you. So this can be where your path to success or making some change, or making more money, right? Those connections that you might want to make can be by attending some sort of public event. So it can be a job fair. It can be like a networking opportunity, like trade shows, that kind of thing. And you just never know who you might bump into when you do that. And remember, retrogrades can bring people back from your past or opportunities back from your past again as well. All right. So you could bump into an old colleague. Maybe you bump into someone that you had an interview with at some point, and they may say, hey, I remember you. I didn't hire you last time, although I wanted to, but I was vetoed or something like that. And, or we just had lots of strong candidates, but I got an opening again. And, I'm glad to run into you. So you just never know. Whenever Uranus is at play, especially in your house of money, right? You just never know what may happen there. All right. So keep an open mind, keep an open heart, get ready for a little bit of action, but remember, do your homework and pay attention to details. I'm going to leave all that there for you guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you have an absolutely outstanding, fantastic July, and I'll see you later. Bye.